Okay, we're going to take a good look at J.A. Crifman's For That Very Day. It's kind of a jazzy piece of music. We're going to look at all the elements of it first and the structure of it, and then start to work our way through it. So it starts off with a 4-bar introduction before the A theme starts, which could be considered like a verse if it was an actual song. And we can find repeat signs at the beginning of bar 5, at the beginning of that A theme. So we know we're going to come back and do that bridge, or sorry, do that A theme reverse again. We carry on through. We see something we should mark in our memory, and that is that this looks like it's a first and third ending. So because it's a first ending, we are going to continue because this is our first time through it. And we're going to remember that we're going to come back and do this again. Looks like 3 more times, and on the third time this will be the ending of that third time as well. So as I say, we would play through here, then we begin this, carry on, because it's our first time through, carry on from here. We see a marker here that we want to remember for our third time, go to C. So the third time through, it looks like we're going to go from here down to this C on page 3 in the last 3 bars. So from there, jumping down to there. But since we're on the second tie, we're going to ignore that and carry on through. We see second ending. And so when we get to here, we're not going to go to that second ending because we're still in our first try through. So we get here and we see the repeat markings, which tell us to go back to here. And this will be our second time through this theme, this A theme. So we go through. We'll go to here. Because we're on our second try through, we're not going to do the first or third ending. We're going to jump to bar 21 for that second ending. That's what that 2 means in that bracket. We'll carry on through and go to the B theme and carry on through and get to here. And we find the repeat markings here on page 3 and telling us to go to A. So we're back at A again for our third time through. Go from here, because this is our third time through. We're doing this ending. We come along. It says third time through, go to C. We go from here to these last 3 bars, and that's the whole piece. So it saved paper to arrange it in this fashion, but essentially we're going to go through it 3 times and go to whatever ending or back to the beginning of this A theme where indicated. All right, so let's take a look at what's in this top corner. It says we're in the key of C. No sharps or flats in either one of these, just like a C scale would have been used to construct this piece of music. We have the treble clef in the right hand and the bass clef in the left hand in the bottom. It's in 3/4 time. So we're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 as we play through. And the squiggly line indicates an arpeggio. So what happens with an arpeggio or a broken chord is that in this case it's D, E, G, B in that right hand. So instead of individual notes like that, which would have been written staggered or like in succession, this is neither all together nor is it individual movements. It's actually a rolled chord, so you can kind of roll your fingers like that. And so when we look at it, it'll sound like this. Like that. And they happen, instead of individual movements, and instead of all at once, it's in between those 2 things. It's one movement that rolls the chord, usually from the bass up. And then we have this. And it's rolled as well. It's rolled in both hands. There we go. So as we play through, we're going to figure out how to make those rolls work. It's something you can work on separately. Right now what we're going to do is go through the right hand and detail out all of the positionings as well as the counting as well. So let's look at positionings first. What pitches are being used? In bar 1, we have a 4-note chord in the right hand that has D, E, G, and B. And like I said, that's rolled. That's one and. On beat 2 of bar 1, we have D and G, and 2 and 3. And that's an E. And then we have C, D, and G at the beginning of bar 2. Again, rolled. That's 1. On beat 2 of bar 2, we have an E. And then on bar 3, we have a C. And then on bar 3, we have kind of a rolled chord from the bottom up. So it would be A, E, and G. Like that. Like that. And so that would be 1, just that B and D in the right hand. B on beat 2, D on beat 3, and then G sharp, B, and E in the beginning of bar 4. And that's rolled as well. And that whole chord with left and right will sound like this. And then in the right hand we have G and G. G here and G here, kind of snapped one after the other. The beginning of the A theme in bar 5, we have B, D, E, and G. Again, it's a rolled chord with the left hand, but here just with the right hand, it's like that. 1 and 2 and. Then on 3, we have F and then E. Beginning of bar 6, beat 1 of bar 6, we have B and E. 1 and 2, that's a D, and 3 and. On the end of 3, we have C. And then in bar 7, we have C, D, E, G, and 1 and 2 all together. With an A in the bottom of the left hand, we'll get that added later. 1 and 2 and F on 3, E on and, 1 and 2 on bar 8, on 1. And with the left hand that sounds like this. Very nice. 2 and 3 and. Bar 9, we have B, C, E, and G. And this would be 1. So that's rolled as well. Bar 9, B, C, E, and G. 1 and 2 and. On 3 and, we have F on 3, E on and then bar 10, G, F, and C. C, F, and C. It sounds like that with the left hand on that G, but that's 1 and then 2, beat 2 of bar 10, F and B, and then D on beat 3, bar 11. We have B, D, and G. 1 and 2 and 3, that's D and G. 2 and 3 and bar 12. We have C, G flat, and A with an E flat on the bottom of that. It just sounds like that by itself. 1 and 2 and 3 and. We're carrying on into page 2. So we are here, top of page 2, and that is a C, F, and a C, and that's a D in the bottom of that bar 13. 1 and 2 and. On 3 of bar 13, we have C and E, and then F on the end of 3. Bar 14 is B and E. Has a G on the bottom there. 1 and 2 and. On 3, we have a D and B, D, and G in bar 15. 1 E on the bottom of that. So 1 and 2 and B on beat 3. B and D. There's an A at the bottom of that in the bass, but it's B and D in the right hand. 2 and 3. And I'm only playing these bass notes in the left just so you can hear the sort of the context of what the chord sounds like. We're in bar 17. It's A, C, and F. 1, and that's a D in the bottom of that, 1 and 2 and 3, and then we have A, E, and A with an F in the bottom. It's a nice F minor 9 chord. It's A, E, and A in the right hand, 2 and 3. C is a 3 on the third beat of bar 18, bar 19. 1 and 2 and 3. That's a G in the bass of that A and C in the right hand, 1 and 2 and 3. And we have the same chord we've had earlier, bar 20. And that's, it's a little different. It's G, B, and D instead of G, B, and E. 1 and 2, and that's a G and an F in the left hand. That's rolled 1 and 2 and 3. We see repeat signs at the end of bar 20. That means we are going back to starting theme A again, back at bar 5 on page 1. So it's B, D, E, and G again. 1 and 2 and 3, F, E, 2 and 3, and B and E in bar 6, 1 and D on bar beat 2 and 3, and C on the end of 3, bar 7, C, D, E, and G, 1 and 2, and F on 3, E on and 1 and 2, that's C and E, 1 and 2 and 3 in bar 8, bar 9, B, C, E, and G, 1 and 2 and 3, and I'm not playing the whole left hand yet, I'm just playing the bass note just to get reference. We can sort of hear the chord the way it's supposed to be heard. Bar 10, I'm going to put a G in the bass of the C, F, and C in the right hand, 1 and 2, so it's rolled, 1 and 2, and 2 is F and B, and D. Now it's the second time through, so we do not do this ending of 1 and 3. We jump over here to page 2, and we do this bar 21, second ending. This is our second time through. And we've got this really nice chord, D, G, B, and D, D, G, B, and D, 1 and 2 and 3, and then we have this D sharp with this chord in bar 22. It's D sharp, F sharp, A, and D sharp. Kind of hard to reach. So it's D sharp, F sharp, A, and D sharp. 1 and 2 and 3, and bar 23, F, A, C, and E. F, A, C, and E. Yeah, 1 and we have F and C in 2 and 3, and that's F in the end of 3 on bar 23. Bar 24, B and E. 1 and 2 and 3 is D. Bar 25 is A, D, and A. That's an E in the bass. 1 and 2, and 2 is D and G. 2 and D and B flat on 3. Bar 25, B flat and D. Bar 26, 1 and 2 and C sharp on 3. Bar 27, C natural. That's a natural sign beside it. 1 and 2. 2 is, that was C, F, and A. And then C and F. Bar in beat 2 of bar 27. A D by itself in the third beat of bar 27. And bar 28 at 1 and 2. And of 2 is a B. 3 is C. And of 3 is D. Bar 29. We have C and G. Middle C and G. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. That bar 30, it's a hold. That's a tie. 2 notes of the same pitch are tied together. We play the first one, hold it for the length of both of them. bar 31, we're in this B section. 1 and that's G and B below middle C. 1 and 2 is C sharp, 3 is D sharp, B and E. 1 and 2 is B and F sharp, 3, 2 and 3 is G and B and E and G. 1 and 2, and that's bar 33. We're carrying on to page 3, bar 34. We have B, D sharp and F sharp. 2 and 3, sorry, B sharp, yeah, D sharp, F sharp. Bar 34, 2 and 3, and we have G and B in bar 35. 1 and 2, and once again 2 is C sharp, 3 is D sharp. Bar 36 is going to be E, B, and F sharp. And then B and F sharp. 2 and B and G in B3 of bar 36. Bar 37, we have this really very pretty chord. That's C major 7, 2 and 3 and excuse me. Bar 38 is D, E, and A. Nice C6. That's D, E, and A in the right hand. Bar 39, C, G, and C. 1. That's rolled. And 2, beat 2 of bar 39 is C, E, and B. C, E, and B. Back up to C. Bar 40 is C, E flat, G, and B. 1, 2, and 3. That E flat is still in play because it's within the same bar. So that's C, E flat, and A. And then bar 41 is D, F sharp, and A. It's rolled. And then beat 2 we have F sharp and D. And then beat 3 is F sharp. And then we have bar 42 is A, D, and A. 1 and 2 and 3. That's D and G on the beat 3 of bar 42. Bar 45, B, C sharp, and G. 2, 3. Then we have C sharp, F sharp, and B. 1, 2. On beat 3 we have a G natural, and then C, E, and G, bar 45. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. That's C, F, and A. 2, 3, and then we go back to A. So now you've seen everything in those in that section. We would go back, do the A theme, go to the third ending, go to the top of page 2, and then the only thing we haven't played yet, because that would just be a repeat of those parts, not much point in doing them the third time, is the right hand of this section titled C. This would be the ending or outro. In bar 47 we have C, F, and A, and that's going to be 1, sorry, it's rolled, 1 and 2, C and F, and D in beat 3 of bar 47. Bar 48 is going to be C, F, A flat, and C. Beautiful D major 7 chord. Sorry, D flat major 7 with D flat in the bass. 1, 2. That A is still flat because it was flatted earlier in the bar. And we in beat 1, now we have beat 3, we have that A flat. And then this is E, G, and B. And it's going to sound like this. Sorry. and then C, and then back to B. And that's held. Generally we need a sustain pedal for that, so that's going to be like that kind of thing. And that's the end of the piece. So that walks through all of the elements of it with some counting in. If you want to really get good at the counting, then you can actually clap your way through it while you count. So that would be in 3/4 time. It'd be I'm going to do a little counting: 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Bar 5, 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and bar 7, 1, 2 and 3 and bar 8, and clap your way through that performance. We want to work on the left hand, starting on the bar 1. We have C, not middle C, but the C below that. So that'd be 1, and then we have G and B, 2 on 2 and 3, and then we have in bar 2, B flat, F, and A flat. 1, 2, that's a rolled chord. And so together that's going to sound like this. 2, and then A is still flat, so that A flat in bar 2 is still flatted. And then we have A natural, F, and G. Bar 3, A natural, E, and G. Sounds like that. So that's A natural, E, and G, 2 and 3, and then G and F. So that's G and F, 1 and 2 and 3. And then we have this chord here in bar 5. That's C down here. 1 and 2, that's G right here. 2 and 3 and 1. Bar 6 and 2, that's G and then F. And then A, G, 2 and 3 and B flat, A flat, 2 and 3 and bar 9. A natural and G and 3 and bar 10. G, D, B, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. And that's E, the beginning of bar 11. Beat 2 of bar 11 is G and C, and then that middle C obviously. And then 3 and E flat in bar 12, 1, and then we have G flat and B. 2 and 3 is A, natural. And bar 13 at the top of the page 2, we have D down low here, F and A, F by itself in beat 3, bar 14, G and F, 2 and 3 and E and G, 2 and 3 and bar 16, 1A, E2, G3, bar 17, D, E, F, 1, 2, 3, bar 18. We have F, C, G, 1 and 2 and 3 and bar 19, G, F, D, and then bar 20, G and F with this chord, like that, just like that. So that's G and F, kind of displaced. Bar 21, E. Of course, this is that second ending. So we're not going to go back and repeat that other material that we've already looked at. We're just looking at elements now. So we're going to go from here. We would normally go back to the beginning of the A theme again, but we're just going to continue on with page 2 and get to bar 21. This is that second ending. So it kind of won't make sense musically, but it kind of makes sense in terms of just being judicious with our time. So we have the E down here, G and B, and then here we have E and C. 2 and D sharp. Okay, so we have D sharp here. Yeah, sorry, D sharp. Sorry, my buzzer just went off. F sharp and B. That was F sharp and B. And then we have D sharp and A. Some of these will sound a little bit odd if we don't hear the chord with them, but you'll get the idea of it. Bar 23, D, F and C, and then A in beat 3, bar 24, G, F, like that. Bar 25, E, B, G. So that's, you can't play those sort of together, so you just kind of pivot your hand like that. So that's E, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and now we've got this E and G in beat 2 and 3 of bar 26. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and here in bar 27 we have D, A, and that's an F. So that's going to be 1 and 2. We've got to do that shifty thing again. Shift of our hand around. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and that's bar 28. Bar 29, we're on the last line of page 2, 1 and 2 and 3. So that's E, C, and G. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then bar 30, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. So that's another one of these. E, B, G. 1 and 2 and 3 and D sharp, B, F sharp. So that's D sharp here. That's B, bar 32 I'm talking about. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and now we have this, bar 33, 1 and E and G, 2 and E by itself. Page 3, we're looking at bar 34, and that will be D sharp, and then coming up to F sharp, and then we have bar 35, E, B, G. We've seen that before. 1 and 2 and 3 and D sharp and F sharp. We've seen that before. And then bar 37, C and E and B, 2 and then G3 and bar 38 is C and then E with G and A, 2 and 3. And so that one sounds kind of odd, but you know, when you look at what's in the right hand D like that, then it's together it's going to be sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3, and so it's quite nice together. Bar 39, 1 and 2, so that's A, E, and B. Bar 39, 1 and 2 and 3, and bar 40 is going to be A, E flat, G, A. That's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and tied. That A is tied over, so you play the A here on the end of 2 and you hold it for 3. So that's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. Like that's another one of these where you rock your hand like that. So it's 1 and 2 and 3. That's bar 41. Bar 42, 1 and 2, and so it's A, and then E, and 2 and 3, and A, and 1, and F sharp, and A, 2 and 3, and so that again sounds kind of odd until you get the context of the chord of that being 1 and 2 and 3, and it sounds really quite nice. And then bar 44, 1, and that's an A, about the beginning of bar 44, and E and G, 2 and 3, and then we have bar 45, 1 and E and G, 2 and 3, and that's E and G on beat 2, F sharp on beat 3, and then 1 and 2 and 3. So that's going to be G, bar 46 I'm talking about, G, 1 and 2 and 3, and let's not go back and do repeats, let's do bar 47 and just finish up this this C theme right here, and that's going to be 1 and 2, so it's going to be D, A, F, and then you're good to go for this this C, F, A flat, C. Sorry, that's a D flat, not a D sharp, my mistake. 1 and 2, that's D flat and F, 240 A. And then we are finishing off with this C, C, G, E. You could break that chord up actually into individual notes and just arpeggiate it up from the bottom. Doesn't do that, but you could do that, and then finish up. You probably shouldn't do that. That was probably a really terrible idea. It should be like this. Just like that. That would be a good way to finish that up. And so working on that with hands separate would be great. You can clap and count the left hand as well. 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. But the bigger job is to get those shapes under your hand. Okay, enjoy.